No. Only after having gone through this several times do I finally understand the difference between what Matthew was saying and what Mark and Luke were saying. Matthew was actually there. Mark and Luke are writing long after the fact, and neither of them were present. I think both Mark and Luke were summarizing the event. They were putting in the full quote into what Jesus said so that it was clear that Jesus was fulfilling the prophecy. But Matthew recorded what Jesus said, and then Jesus saying the quote. And I think that Jesus did something that a lot of Bible translators do today. When a new version is made, they'll make it a little bit easier to understand. They'll put it into common English instead of the more difficult older English, which would not as easily portray the meaning of what was said. The prophecy was written by Isaiah a long time before Jesus walked the earth, so it may be in a higher level of Hebrew than what was common. And I think Jesus, because he was speaking to his disciples, simply said it in a very easy to understand way. Seeing they see not. Hearing they hear not. They don't understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy that says, and then he goes into all the details of what they're saying. So I am actually going to take out those words that are the same from Jesus' statement earlier from Mark and Luke and put them into when Jesus is quoting Isaiah. And then that first part is going to be only Matthew. That's Jesus simplifying the prophecy and just saying it in an easy to understand way. Jeremiah 5:21. Let me read that. Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Now look at that. So Jesus is at first quoting Jeremiah, and then second quoting Isaiah. Seeing they see not, hearing they hear not. Eyes see not, ears hear not. Hear, understand not. See, perceive not. The first part is more of Jeremiah. Another reason to go with Matthew here is because I find myself stuck between two main purposes of this project. To go with the majority witness when there's a discrepancy, or to go with the greatest description. Mark and Luke, as I decided the first time, are the majority witness, so I should go with them. But I think I made the same mistake I had made earlier. I didn't read ahead. I didn't get a full grasp of the total explanation that Jesus was giving. The greater explanation is in Matthew. Mark and Luke have it so much shorter. It's like I said, it's summarized. Matthew has it in more detail and more explained, so the greater detail should hold. This is going to change that seeing they may see and not perceive back to what I originally had it, because seeing they may see and not perceive. My original decision was just because it felt better to me. It seemed to make the most sense according to what I believe, according to God's sovereignty, and yet still holding us responsible, that He's going to give us the opportunity, but the hardness of people's hearts is what keeps them from receiving and submitting. I changed it to Mark and Luke that simply because it was the majority witness. And now I'm changing it back not for theological or doctrinal reasons, but just because I think the greater detail in Matthew should hold over the shorter, more simplified Mark and Luke. even though they both simplified it. The greater detail is more important to me than the majority witness. So this is simply undone. Matthew 13:13. Because they, seeing, see not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. So I'm just going to add what Mark has into Matthew. Hearing, they may hear. Hearing and hear is in Mark. Luke. Hearing, they might. No, just hearing is all three. Here is Matthew and Mark. Mark, and shall not understand. Not understand. The and is Matthew and Mark. Not understand is Matthew, Mark, and Luke. That seeing they may see. Seeing, see. That's it. I'll keep the and as part of Mark, but I'll say it's the and that came from just before hearing in Mark. But and seeing is both Matthew and Mark. What about Luke? And hearing. So yeah, the and from before hearing and the seeing at first. So both of those are all three. See as well. And shall not perceive. Mark. And not perceive is in Mark. Luke. None of that. So, and not perceive is Matthew, Mark.